I thought, right, I've got to stand up and I've got to talk to you about IB. Now, most of my colleagues think that I have a little love affair with the IB, because I do. I absolutely fundamentally believe that it is the best program. But if I stood up here and said, it's the best thing, I thought, well, would you take my word for it? And it's just my word. So I thought, how can I sell it to you? I want to find a metaphor. And I was looking at my son playing with a Rubik's Cube, and I thought, that's it, that's perfect. So I just want to remind you of a few facts before I go into my talk about the Rubik's Cube. So the Rubik's Cube is sold as more than just a cube, because the cube did things the world had never really seen before. It twisted and turned, and it didn't break. It added 54 colourful stickers. Professor Rubik from Hungary wanted to help his students see three-dimensional problems. Not only that, the Rubik's Cube gives an ongoing passion to pick up something and keep going. Over the last 40 years, the Rubik's Cube has become one of the fastest selling and most popular toys. Whilst I go on, please remember those facts as I continue to talk. So when I talk about the IB, I want to talk about the IB as more than just a program of study. The IB does something the world has never seen before with curriculum. It's turned curriculum on its head. It builds skills into curriculum, something that, of course, schools say that they do, and obviously there is an element of skill building in every single school. But the IB truly has it at its heart. Their curriculums are unbreakable. They can be adapted to meet people's needs, can be twisted, but indeed they are unbreakable, and they've stood the test of time. Between 2012 and 2017, the number of IB schools offered worldwide increased by 39%. This is that fastest growing toy element. Just like Professor Rubik, the IB wants to help students see that three-dimensional element. I was speaking to Mr. Gauntlet, and I said, well, if I was to put a metaphor to the A-level, I'd just be giving it a one-dimensional shape. With the IB, you get to look at problems, but not just at face value. You get to discuss them and twist them and turn them. It builds students that can problem solve. This is a key feature we are going to need in our world. We don't need people who can just give us fact. It's lovely if you're a fountain of knowledge, but really, we need to be able to apply these skills so that we have a planet to live on, okay, as we go forward. The IB teaches students the long game. Just like the Rubik's Cube. You can't do it straight away. The IB teaches patience and learning through doing, not just by sitting passively, digesting fact. The Rubik's Cube is a toy of life, just like the IB, because the skills you learn at IB are going to be skills you take forward into undergraduate and life. They're life skills. The IB understands about capacity building, building capacity at the right level. It builds skills that are rightful and necessary for the time. And I said about the programs being unbreakable but adaptable. Yearly, they are updated with new skills that are needed to meet the needs of our world. Once aligned, the Rubik's Cube has its colours matching. This is just like the IB, because the IB is a journey to international mindedness. You saw that picture, that logo from the IB, that everything it does is encapsulated by this journey to become an international student, and internationally minded. So once this platform is aligned, everything becomes clear. All of the different ethnic backgrounds that we have here at WSO doing the IB have a flat platform of concurrency. Everyone knows what they need to do to be a better citizen. But just like the Rubik's Cube, the journey is ongoing. This toy has lasted for decades. The IB will last for years and years to come because it molds students to become better learners. The skills the IB teaches you, and the attributes it builds within our students are lifelong. And I think that's what we need to remember. What do you want to get out of this as a student? What do you want to get out of it for your son and your daughter? Do you want the long game or the short game? Thank you very much.